Alright everyone, I don't say this in irony. I'm not actually joking when I say this. I appreciate the trolls in my comments areas. I do that for several reasons. I appreciate them on one level because if shills show up, like, like Media Matters folks, they can't really deal with the comments areas on my videos. They can't deal with them on other major content creators' comments anyway. Even if they police their comments and they try to tamp down on like objectionable content, it doesn't really work. And for those of us who believe in full free speech and just don't give a damn what people say in the comments, it's even more dicey. They're not going to bother showing up to start any shit in the comments area because there's no way for them to succeed. It's total chaos. Organized groups have difficulty with chaotic situations. It's another reason why I say that any political movement with any sanity needs perhaps legal figureheads, if you're running for office or something, but it certainly doesn't need de facto leaders. In fact, it should have as little leadership and be as decentralized as possible, because then it can never actually be destroyed. It becomes like the Hydra. There's no one head you can cut to hurt it. It can grow 1,000 heads. It doesn't matter. And the more heads you cut off, the more heads are spawned, the more pissed off it gets, and the more likely you are to get envenomated and fucked up. That's the way that any sane political movement operates. So when the comments areas on someone's videos are chaos, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Also, it makes me slightly nostalgic, because it's more like the web was like 10 years ago. Now, a lot of sites have really tried to clean things up. Like if you go on the news services, if you go on the corporate media's websites, try to use Discuss or whatever they use now to comment. I haven't even gone on like CNN other than grabbing links for the benefit of the normies to archive in the descriptions now in several years, I believe. But there was a time when you could comment more or less freely there, and it was fun actually because you could dispute the article. You'd say, well, this doesn't make sense because reasons. This article is basically propaganda. And sometimes that would get a lot of attention. People would agree with you. And the CNN, when they realized this, they decided to start censoring it. They would start removing the top comments if they didn't agree with the article. They would ban users for little or no reason. Fox started doing the same. They closed comments altogether for a while. All the other sites, they do this too. Even like local and regional news sites now do this. They censor everything. I don't want to censor anything. I want people to have free reign in the comments series. That's the fucking point of a comments area. The original point of being able to comment on the content was to be able to criticize it or applaud it or say anything else you wanted to be able to say. Not to have a squeaky clean PC thought police comment area where you could only say certain things. You could only be in support of the work or some bullcrap like that. It's not the way. If I go to someone else's channel and I find that they hold comments habitually on more than a small handful of videos. I did that for the Nicholas and Xena videos only because I didn't want a bunch of Church of Satan members to show up and troll. The content relates to other people, not specifically and directly to me. So that's fine. All of my political videos, you can comment openly. And when I see people that don't have that set to an ability that their users can have, when they close comments out, I assume that the content is crappy. If somebody has comments closed on a video, my immediate assumption is that the content is shit and I should downvote it. That's how I feel. Because I think that people have the right to express themselves. I don't even, by the way, believe that YouTube should retain the ability to close comments on videos. I think to be able to create a blacklist of words, okay, if you really want to, although that's censorship too. I don't. I know some users do. I can remember when CNN, back in the old days, I think this was 2 years ago or even 3, they stopped people from saying Zionism on their commentaries. They actually blocked the word. In order to type it out, you had to use a lowercase l in place of the I and just type it in all caps to get it to go through the system. A lot of people didn't know that. Then, of course, I found that one of the people trying to screw with me on here, named Stu Weinstein, a troll from CTR, also did the same thing on CNN's articles and on 4chan. It was a shill. It was somebody who was part of a coordinated effort on multiple sites, using the same language. The same username on several sites. You saw the same thing show up elsewhere. The term moon unit was thrown around quite a bit at the time. It was propaganda. But you know what? I would rather let the shills have their free speech too, because there are so many trolls in the comment area. Here's why I like it best of all. There's so many trolls that can't do anything. It's totally ineffective. My channel is growing in popularity, but I'm not at the point yet where they're going to bother expending hundreds of hours of manpower to fuck around in a few comment areas because they have to deal with 1,000 trolls from 4chan. Great. Well, that makes my job a lot easier. See, I don't care if somebody's saying, oh, Hitler was great or oh, Stalin was great in the comment area. It doesn't matter. People, I think, should have the right to that free expression. By the way, and I would say this is something the tech firms really need to take into consideration when they're weighing the, any potential benefit of censoring content. When people say hateful or mean things, typically it keeps them from doing hateful and mean things. It is a cathartic. You can say that their comments are objectionable, that they're a bigot, that they're sexist or something. But as long as they're sitting there talking in that manner, they're probably not committing acts of violence. There is, for example, an inverse correlation between playing violent video games and being violent. For years and years, they said, oh no, if you play violent video games, it's going to make you go postal or something like that. We now know the opposite is probably true. I think the same will eventually be proven about comment areas online, about YouTube videos, Twitter posts and stuff. If somebody is being bitter and hate-filled online, they're probably not being bitter and hate-filled in the real world. They're getting their catharsis by posting that online, sometimes anonymously. That keeps them sane. It keeps them balanced. Well, then I'm sort of offering therapy, I guess, to thousands of trolls. They can say all that stuff here, and I hope that they're not going and burning down a synagogue or something. It's preferable. It's better for a polite society. It's a good thing. Why would you want to restrict people's right to get their catharsis? It's no different. The debate that people are having right now over how much regulation should we have on fucking line is no different than when a bunch of idiot evangelicals of yesteryear around the time of Conker's Bad Fur Day were saying we need to crack down on the video games. Or back when people had a big problem, on the right usually, although on the left a little bit too, with people like Tipper Gore, had a problem with music, something like that. Oh, this rock music is too violent. It glorifies like sexuality, and it's going to lead to teen pregnancy. And it talked about smoking a reefer. Oh my God, it's going to cause drug use. Oh, he's talking about driving drunk and crashing his car. It's going to cause a lot of DUIs. It didn't actually do that. It did the opposite. It keeps people from doing that crazy shit. So good, the world benefits from free speech. Once again, we are proven correct. Yeah, the comments areas on my videos will always be a free-for-all. And I fucking love it. I like reading the bizarre shit that people post. It's entertaining. Why would you get offended by it? It's just something that somebody's saying in a text-only comment field. I don't understand people who are so easily offended. It used to be like the conservatives. They're like, oh, this is offensive because it denies Jesus, and that's offensive because gay. And now it's like all the liberals are offended all the time. Or I should say the neoliberals. Like, corporatism never changes. They can call themselves neocons, neolibs, doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, they're just all offended. And like everyone in the UK is offended. You saw that video. I was going to make a video on this topic, but I'll just throw it in here because I need to get outside. It's like 75 degrees sunny. I need to do yard work outside. I want to go saw wood and mow and stuff like that. Play around in the garden. And did you see that thing where during the London attack, I think it was the stabbing incident location, if I remember correctly. The police were getting everyone down, and one of the people is like, oh, the Muslims or something like that. And then another dude, who turns out to be totally wrong, is like, shut the fuck up, it wasn't the fucking Muslims or something like that. And it's just very surreal. It's like, you're in a situation where there's an active, like, terrorist attack, and your first thought is, oh, I need to censor this idiot over here who's mentioning the religion of peace in a context as though it could be construed as having anything to do with violence. It's like total newspeak dystopia. That's not the world I want to live in. I much prefer harassment and chaos and bigotry. That is far preferable to me than bland, cloying PC bullcrap. Because bland, boring PC bullcrap doesn't take care of people's actual bigoted views. I hope that the neolibs out there, you do realize, it doesn't actually cause racism or sexism or homophobia to go away. It just closets them. It gets bottled up inside. It causes an internal rage and then violence. They don't even understand that. Islamophobia, you can't criticize Islam. Well, those people are still going to hate Islam. They're just not going to talk about it. They'll instead foment ways to get back at Islamists in other ways other than making a comment online. These people used to realize that when it came to violent video games or like objectionable music, they suddenly forsook that logic the second that the debate gravitated against them in the other direction, and now all of a sudden the people in power are no longer like censorship-happy neoliberals. Yeah, and then they want to say, oh, Trump's violating people's free speech by blocking folks on Twitter. Okay, well, then you can't block people on Twitter if you're a public official. There are a lot of other public officials, and guess what? Some of them are Democrats. Some of them are liberals. So you're saying any public official, any celeb or public official cannot block people on any online site. I think that's a good idea. I actually agree with you. I think that'd be wonderful. More places to troll, as long as you're not committing any crime while doing so. Man, it'd be a free-for-all. It'd be great. It'd be the #1 trolling location in all the world if that were to go through. I actually support this. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, Trump should be forced to unblock these people. So should every other politician. And by the way, every aspect of the corporate media, every celebrity, every vapid entertainer, every pundit. Oh my God, it'd be better than Christmas. It'd be the best thing ever. But yeah, I do appreciate you when you're talking about weird, chaotic stuff in the comments. Some people, I think maybe Styx gets upset sometimes. No, I'm actually jovial when I witness that. Also, it's just more attention. It's a good thing. You know, who has a problem with that? You go to PewDiePie's comment section. See how chaotic that gets at times. That's about all. Peace out.